How did you and Mark meet? Well, a long time ago, I got involved in this girl group.
It's funny you asked that question.
How did Mark and I meet? I joined this girl group called Darling Stilettos. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Matt Sorum from Guns N' Roses. He was one of their main drummers for a long time. Him and his wife created a girl group. It's basically like Little Miss Nasty 80s. So we sang, we danced. It was all covers up until we started recording some original music. But our very first cover we were recording was Girls Got Rhythm by AC/DC. Matt called us all to his studio so we could go in and record gang vocals, which involved no singing whatsoever, just us in the vocal booth together, just screaming out gang vocals. And Mark
singing
was
at the
there.
same time, everybody.
All the girls show up, and what did we show up with?
What did you show up with? I have no idea.
A bottle of Jack Daniels. Because
You guys were all nervous.
we were so nervous.
You were nervous because you had to go into the studio. None of you thought you could sing for some weird reason. You all have some insecurities about singing. This is a little while ago. Or at least sing in a studio. I think you're nervous about singing in a studio.
I was nervous to sing in front of you because I had
Oh.
such a crush on you.
Oh, alright. So this is how the story goes. Gina was part of a girl group, and the girl group had to go into the studio and record a bunch of vocals to a cover song that they were doing. Co-creator of the girl group was and is a friend of mine, and he was like, hey Mark, can you come and help me co-produce this track? And I was like, cool. And he told me about it, and I was like, oh, sounds fucking great. Bunch of girls, and he sold me on it very well. It wasn't a very hard sell. And so I started working on this song, and then he's like, they're gonna come by today and do some gang vocals, or I'm gonna yell words at the same time. Not that hard to do. But they were all nervous, or at least Gina was nervous apparently, because
We were all nervous.
I'd seen Gina a couple times before, and we'd like said hello, and it was very
flirty.
So she came in, she was all nervous. She had to do like a couple shots of Jack, I think. She was really nervous. And then she did her vocals, I guess. I don't really remember. Anyway, that's how we met in the studio, and then we started hanging out, and then that's how we met.
Since I first saw Mark, I feel like maybe we met at a show or something before we went in the studio, because I remember being like, that's my boyfriend.
The first time we met was that this particular person, his name is Matt, had a party at his house. I think it was all set up from the beginning that he and his wife wanted to get us together. I think they did, and I don't, whatever reasons they had, they must have seen the future, and they're like, these two would be good for each other, So he had a party at his house. All these girls from the Darling Stilettos group showed up. I was there. I was producing another band. They were there. Like, all right, whatever, hanging out. I ended up talking to Gina, and obviously thought she was very,
You know what he said?
beautiful. What?
He's like, your skin is so shiny.
I never said
and I was
that.
like, motherfucker, I'm oily. Like, that's not a compliment. I was like,
Now I realize she sweats all the time. So she's probably sweating. She saw me and was so nervous.
Oh my God.
So you
I
were
was like,
nervous
"Thank
and you saw me.
you."
Like, wow, who's that guy?
Thanks for the compliment.
I was dumb. I was a young girl. You know, we take a little
So we
while to
met
mature.
there. And then I was like, that's my boyfriend, making a joke to the girls. I'm like, ooh, Mark, my boyfriend.
You manifest.
I literally did.
That's right.
And then Matt's like, come over and record these vocals. Mark's gonna be here. And I was like, like, Mark is gonna be there watching me sing for the first time in a studio, right through the glass, staring at me, pressing record, and being
Judging.
like, sing. That's why we got the Jack, okay? After that, I remember you guys got burritos. And I was like, that's
So
weird.
good.
He's just chowing on burritos. You were
I was?
wearing that Rolling Stones cutoff that's like
I was?
disintegrated now. Yes.
Nice style.
Oh no, it was another cutoff that was just as equally white trash. So I was like, oh, he's sitting there eating burritos.
That was my New York one or something.
Yeah, is your back hurt?
It's
My
all
back
right.
kills. So anyway, then the band starts to take off.
What band?
Darling Stilettos.
Wasn't really a band, but
A girl group.
yeah, the band.
We had gigs lined up, and so of course Mark was there every gig, just like stalking me.
No, I wasn't. I came out to have fun. Fun shows the Roxy. I went in there, watched them. Thought it was really cool. Thought you were really hot on stage. I was like, wow, fuck. Then we just ended up starting to hang out. I don't remember.
Yeah, started to hang out. I would come over all the time with one of the girls, Megan. We'd hang out. Mark was like playing it kind of hard to get. I know he wanted me, but he was more so like playing hard to get.
Because all these other guys were so obvious. I saw all these other dudes, a lot of them, some of them were actual rock stars at the time, and they were just overtly obvious about wanting to be with you. And I was just like, first of all, I'm not even gonna compete with these guys. I don't want to compete with these guys. I didn't know if I could compete with those guys at that time. And I was like, I don't even give a fuck. I'm just gonna take my time and just be cool and honest and have fun with this girl, Gina. And we did. And we ended up, yeah.
Then, to really secure it in, like, we were kind of flirty, hanging out, you know, doing the thing, but not really considering ourselves boyfriend, girlfriend yet. One time, LA, I don't even know what year this was, but the power went out in the entire valley, which is where I lived at that time. I had this gig. I used to impersonate Fergie. Because I had blonde hair, I was tan, I looked just like her. I was booked at a lookalike agency. And he's like, I have a bar mitzvah for you. You're gonna go sing 2 songs. Here's your gig, go. The power's out. I have no way of showering, doing my makeup in my apartment. So I had to get ready at my gym, which was down the street from a Jamba Juice I always went to. Mark's old music studio was in the valley at that time also. And he was at Jamba Juice at the same time I was.
You walked in.
I walked in.
Dressed as Fergie.
Dressed as fucking Fergie with like full makeup. And at that time,
it was like 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah. I was like, I never wear full makeup. I was so embarrassed.
You were so embarrassed, but I didn't care. I was like, oh wow, you look really pretty. That's what I was thinking. You were so mortified that you had a Fergie look.
I was like, I have a job in like 4 hours. And he's like, why don't you come to the studio and hang out before your job since you don't have power? I'm just recording this band.
It's air conditioning there.
I was like, okay. I went to his studio and I was just totally smitten watching him work and run the room and all these players. He was recording them and I was just in the background like, that's my boyfriend. But he didn't know I was saying that's my boyfriend the whole time. And didn't I flash my boobs to you that day? Or?
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah.
He turned around and
I would be trying to record this band. I had like a guy playing bass sitting right behind me. He was way behind him in the back of the room. And I turned to look at the guy playing bass. He's like, that's cool. Like, dude, nice. And I'm like, ready? You're recording. And I turned to look at him, and then I'd see Gina in the back. And I was just like trying not to laugh. She did that several times.
Yeah.
And I was like, this one, she's very, she might be someone I want to try to keep here.
Oh my god. I was like, he probably thinks I'm some dumb, young blonde just showing my boobs all the time, but I thought that's how you got guys back in the day. I guess it is.
I guess it worked. But I didn't think you were a dumb, young blonde. I thought you were a very interesting, slightly weird, hot, young blonde.
Ooh. Anyway, that's it.